All right, thank you for joining us. We are going to run through the Goracle node setup today. So I have an OCI instance. This is a clean VM running Ubuntu. And the first thing we want to do is locate the Goracle documentation. Technical documentation, it can be found here at docs.goracle.io/technical documentation. We are also going to need a para wallet, as we're going to use our public key for the wallet as our main account address in Goracle. We will also need a PureStake API. This is free. You can get an API login, create an account, have your API key, and that will allow us to connect the node to an Algorand node. You're also going to want to locate the Algorand dispenser so that we can fund the wallet with test algos. And then if you do not know how to set up a Docker group, recommend just going to this Stack Overflow here so that you can set up your group and run Docker without having to use sudo. So the first thing we want to do is go back to our documentation. Now the team has done a wonderful job making this a very simple 3-step process to get the binary initialized and start the node. So we do recommend that everyone reads through the documentation fully so you understand everything that is coming during the initialization process so that it all runs smoothly. So first thing we're going to do is pull in the binary using this wget command. This should be a very quick process, and if we list out, we can now see that we have pulled in a Goracle file. This is our binary, but it is not executable. So make the downloaded binary executable by running chmod ux.goracle. So we will drop this here. This is change mode user plus executable, and the // is calling the local file in this directory. We will list out again, and we can see that the Goracle file is now green. This means that we have successfully changed permissions to make it an executable file. So coming back, we come down to the initialization process, and this is where we are going to be prompted to add our main account as well as a couple other processes here, the PureStake API key that we need. So we will run Goracle init. This process is also going to create a .goracle config file, a hidden file in this directory that I will show you after this initialization process. So we want to say yes. Use Algo Node Algorand API service. We are going to say no to this as Algo Node has been giving us a little bit of troubles lately. And so we are going to use PureStake. We're going to say yes. We're going to grab our authentication key. We'll drop it here. Connecting to Algorand node, connection confirmed. So now enter your main Algorand account address. Remember, this is the public key of your para wallet that you created prior to this process. So we will drop this here. And we are now provided with a Goracle participation account right here. And it says, please register it now at this URL. So the first thing we're going to want to do is copy this URL, and I already had this pulled up, but all you do is simply paste the entire thing in. It'll bring up this portal, testnet-app.goracle.io, and we are going to connect our wallet. I should probably open my wallet, and we'll click. I'm going to connect with Paramobile, so it's important to know that when you're registering the node and when you're staking your Gora token to the node, you will be prompted to confirm the transaction via your wallet. So if it's sitting there and loading and loading and loading, it's probably because you have not checked your wallet. So we are in. We can see that my public key of my, so my main account is right here, already populated, and we need to grab our participation key. So participation key, grab this, drop it here. Now, before we register, we need to make sure that we have funded this with some Algorand. So we will say, I am not a robot. We will click all of the bridges, hopefully, and verify. We will drop this participation account in here. We get a code 200 success, so we have funded You should also do this with your main account. I have already funded mine, so I don't need to go through that process. But now I'm going to register. Once again, I will pull up my wallet to confirm the transaction. Give it a couple seconds, and we can see account opted in successfully. So before our terminal times out, it asks us when done, press enter to continue. So we can see that we have a balance here of 10 million micro algo, and our account setup is all right, we have completed the initialization process. So to show you the config file, we will just list out to show our hidden files, and we can see that the .goracle config file is here. Feel free to cat that file to look what's inside, but we will move on to the next process now. So the next thing we want to do is make sure that we have Gora in our account. So I already have 10,000 Gora in here, but if you need to get test Gora, then you can prompt here. If you did not get an access code in your email, you may skip this step and continue installing the node. So if you are not part of the node runner process and did not receive the email, you can still go through the process without staking. If you are going to stake, I will show you how to do it here. Enter stake amount. Minimum is 10,000 Gora. If you enter 10,000 with a comma, as is just kind of second nature for a lot of people, it will not allow you to confirm the stake. So make sure that we do not have a comma entered. Confirm our stake. We're going to sign our transaction on our wallet. Give it a few seconds, and we can see amount staked successfully, 10,000. So we have registered, we have staked, we are good to go to the next process. Let's clear this screen so that we have a little more room. Now we'll go back to the documentation, and we see that there's a 3A and a 3B. Right? We're not going to run with AWS right now. This is still being tested, so we recommend that everybody runs the Docker container at this time. So this is the process that we will be going through today. So if you haven't set up your Docker group so that you don't have to run this with sudo, please do so. So now if I start the node right now with this command, right? Remember, I have already set up my Docker group, so I don't have to use sudo. But if I run it right now and then I exit out, it's going to stop the node. So we're going to add a background flag so that we can keep it running. We'll hit enter, current version, and now Docker container ID. So we can run Docker logs, F to follow, Goracle node runner. This is the name of the container. And if we had run the Goracle Docker start without the background, this is what would show, and we would see all of this. So it says waiting for next Oracle request. This is exactly what we should be seeing. This means that the node turned up successfully. We have registered it, we have staked it. Everything is good. You will see requests coming through if you keep this going. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. Goodbye.